And the owners of Ghana bondage for 7 years. Are we tired of the labor right? Lord have mercy. I get a feeling, I have a feeling that Mark Gordon has the key to release him out of bondage. I get a feeling. I have a feeling. I say I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I say I have a feeling.
Alright, my SouFLoTV audience, let's take a break from our scheduled program and let's get right into this. You know, I've been wondering for the longest, why has Jamaica not gone totally solar yet? After all, Jamaica has powerful sunshine all year round. And people are in darkness in certain areas, especially in rural areas. And they've been that way for decades, waiting on government to install streetlights. Well, Soninka solar lights. These are commercial grade lights, perfect for rural areas, perfect for dark corners and lanes, perfect for the backyard, the front yard, down the road, driveway lighting, stores, perfect for the farm, waterproof and remote control. Make your surroundings safer. Jamaica has sun all year round, and you will have no problem keeping these lights charged. Did I mention that they are commercial grade and they are remote controlled? You don't have to wait on government to install lights. Some people in some areas have been waiting for decades, literally decades, and they are still in the darkness. These are easy to install. Get in touch with Soninka and they will do the rest for you. And the best part is this. You don't have to pay a monthly light bill. No, this not gonna bother you like a JPS bill because it's charged by the sun. So take yourself out of the darkness now. Increase your safety now. Get in touch with Soninka Solar and thank me later. Come on, man. Watch there. All the contact information is right there for you. IG, email, phone number, which you can call by WhatsApp, which is free globally. Go on. Get yourself out of the darkness and into the light. Back to our regular scheduled program at hand. Do not be distracted, Jamaicans. Jamaicans, do not be distracted. Listen, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Just go ahead and click that subscribe button, please, and then click the bell next to it so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. Let's get into this. Jamaica Observer says that Mark Golding is under fire for his slavery skit. I don't know if y'all saw the slavery skit. The slavery skit had a black man in shackles and chains, and then Mark Golding came and he freed him. But we must put things into context, okay? First of all, the article says that Cultural Minister Babsy Grange on Tuesday reprimanded opposition leader Mark Golding for his involvement in a slavery skit mounted at the People's National Party St. Andrews Southern Constituency Conference on Sunday, describing it as a disrespectful kind of, big disrespect to the ancestors then, and an effort to diminish 400 years of slavery. Mr. Golding's reprehensible conduct has angered Jamaicans from all walks of life, as his performance mirrored a very painful period when our ancestors were chained and pulled by chains about their necks, sometimes before cheering crowds, at auctions where they were sold, or as a mere act to fulfill the perverse pleasure of the oppressors. This is what Grange, Olivia Babsy Grange, said. Golding and the PNP have been attracting flack, a lot of feedback, a lot of negative feedback for the skit, which it saw a male PNP supporter, Big Stone himself, holding a padlock chain around his neck and telling the party's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, that he was being held in bondage by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Y'all understand that this is a skit, right? It is a skit. Big Stone, he was I guess he was the playing the slave part then in a skit. And he was saying that he was being held in bondage by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Campbell, now prancing back and forth on the stage, is heard announcing that Golding has the keys to release the man out of bondage, eliciting cheers from the crowd. Golding then appears on stage with a key, and he unlocks the padlock, with which he and the chain man unwrap the chain and hold it over his head, right? Freedom! Joining critics who have accused Golding and the PNP of making light of the country's painful experience of slavery, Minister Grange asks, would the ancestors be pleased with Mark Golding's behavior? Would they cheer him, or would they reject him and condemn his behavior? I was horror-struck when I saw Mark Golding pull the man by the large chain around his neck while laughing and having a jolly good time, she said. My heart sank as I remembered the ancestors who were similarly treated as they endured hundreds of years of unspeakable oppression and brutality perpetrated by white colonial enslavers in a long war for our freedom today. All of us have been the beneficiaries of emancipation given to us by the ancestors. We mustn't take it lightly that today we live the life our African ancestors could only dream of. How could the holder of such a high constitutional office as leader of the opposition so disrespect our ancestors who gave their lives so that we could be here today? My gosh. BS. I have to control what I'm going to say. You know, somebody that gonna say a bag of bullshit right now, just now. But I said a bag of BS. But bullshit, bullshit, human shit, birds shit. So if I said bird shit, bullshit, human shit, it's not cursing, okay? It's just an exclamation. Someone will get real sensitive when we start to speak and get passionate in our speech and use certain terms. The slavery scene, in which the opposition leader positioned himself as the main character and the chief arbiter on the issue of whether a black man is freed, is deeply offensive and in an affront to the entire nation. This is what Babsy Grange is saying. She said that at a time when the Jamaicans are demanding that enslavers set things right for the hundreds of years of chattel slavery of our African ancestors, we cannot accept this behavior from the leaders of the opposition. She also accused Golding of making a mockery of the sacrifices of our foreparents and said that he should at minimum apologize and commit never to ever disrespect our people like that again. Okay, you know what I'm here? Y'all want me to talk truth now? Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, right? Out of many, one people. That is Jamaica's motto. So when we as regular Jamaicans say something contrary, we are always reminded by the bourgeoises that out of many, one people. But in reality, it is out of many one people, because we have Chinese Jamaican, we have African Jamaican, we have European Jamaican. In other words, then we have white people, we have Asian people, we have a mix of everybody in Jamaica. Jamaica is not just a group of black people, although the population is predominantly black, meaning that most of the Jamaicans are of African descent or black people. However, everybody else is there too. So, to know after they are the same ones, I don't know if y'all remember, recently Mark Golding was referred to as a slave master. Yes. How quickly does everybody forget, right? Let me see. May I look it up right now because I have to talk to him about this. Papa. Massa is what he was called. And then leader of the opposition and president of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, has apologized for comments he made referring to. Let's go further. Of Massa, Mr. and the Slave Master. That was March 24th of 2023. Right? All right. Massa, Mr. and the Slave Master. Leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, has taken offense at the Finance Minister Nigel Clark's reference. Nigel Clark is a JLP, right? Individual. And that is neither here nor there. But he referred to Mark Golding as Massa Mark. Yes, sir, Massa. And some members of the public are outraged by what they consider to be a racist comment. Why did you refer to him as Massa Mark? Yes, sir, Massa. Right? It's like somebody saying, come on, I don't have to spell it out for you guys. If y'all want to go revisit the context, go back to March 24th of 2023. Go to the Jamaica Observer, Google it, and Google of Massa, Mr. and the Slave Master. Right, of Massa, Mr. and the Slave Master. Don't forget that it was it was Nigel Clark himself who first used the word or the phrase Massa when speaking of Mark Golding. So it's funny now that the shoe is on the other foot. All this man did was put a skit together, right? And it so happens that the skit had a black man which is Big Stone himself, Mr. Claude himself. If he's holding the chain, he's playing the part of someone who is enslaved. And the whole idea of this is to represent the people of Jamaica who feel the way that he feels, that they are in bondage under the Andrew Holness administration. But see, Babsy Grange is a part of the Andrew Holness administration, so she is not going to want the people to get that message like that. That's all that skit said. That skit said, we are under bondage, and Mark Golding has the key to free us from this bondage. Basically, it's saying when election time come, make sure say you vote PMP. Make sure you vote for Mark Golding. If you want to remain in shackles and chains, then you could go ahead and go vote JLP, because that is where you are now. This is how we feel now, that we are under bondage, in chains, under this leadership. So Babsy Grange spinning this thing out of control and talking about he needs to apologize, and this was a slap in the face to our ancestors, and this was some way ridiculing or making light of 400 years of trials and tribulations and slavery and all this. Cut the crap. Cut the crap. All she is doing is trying to pull at the people's heartstring, because she knows that she can now use Mark's, how should I say it now? She can now use his race against him, as in his ethnicity. she can use that against him now because a black man shouldn't be pulling the chain. I guarantee you, if Mark was a black man and Big Stone was up there chained up and he came up and pulled that chain with a key, Babsy Grange would have nothing to say. So now let's talk about who is the person who is actually perpetuating racism here, or as my auntie would say from country, racialism. You see what I say? Racialism. She's the one that's perpetuating racialism and racism because it's a skit. And if we are to be under one banner and consider ourselves as Jamaicans one people, regardless of our persuasion or ethnic persuasions, we are still one people, then why are you pulling out this slave master something and this disrespect to our African ancestors and those who went through chattel slavery? How? You know, Miss Babsy Grange, the biggest disrespect comes not by them doing a skit, but by the way how things have been structured for quite a few years now, that is choking the people to a point where they can barely survive. That is the true dishonor. To be honest with you, none of you really mean Jamaicans any good. Not for the long-term good. Everybody is scratching and trying to get their share, and everybody is trying to appease their political base, and everybody is trying to bow down properly to their masters who pull their strings while throwing the others under the bus. I think it's outrageous that she actually said all this and wants people to look at this as that. But hey, it's politics, right? And that's how politics goes. If the JLP goes out, maybe her job will go with it. If them lose the next election. Now, I've been told that the deadline for election in Jamaica to be called general elections would be 2025. I've been told that the people are waiting for Andrew to call the election now. It puzzles me why Jamaica does not have a set time for election. Every forward-thinking, forward-moving country does. First world countries that they admire do. The United States of America, for example, there are rules put in place, written. One president cannot serve for more than 2 terms, and that one president can do a back-to-back 4-year term, which means he will be an 8-year president, something like what Barack Obama did. Or he can go 4 years, and then when the election comes around again, if he loses, he'll be a 1-term president. And then if he runs again, which he will still have the opportunity to run, if he runs again and he wins again, he can become another term 4 years, so he'll be a 2-term president. But as long as he lives after serving 2 terms, he will never be able to be elected or to run for president of the United States of America again. In Jamaica, why can't the same principles be applied? Why is it that we are waiting for a person who loves their power, uses their power to empower themselves, and we can't blame him, and those closest to them? Why you think that person wants to relinquish power? Why would you give that person the power to call election when them feel like it? It's like, here's a window of time in which you can call the election. I don't know if you all remember, but we just went through the pandemic. Everybody was on lockdown. COVID-19 was killing off people, all these other kind of things. Them come out with the juk, and you were supposed to take your juk and get double juk and all those things. You remember that? Okay. During that period, if I'm not mistaken, the Right Honorable Andrew Holness, while everybody was expected to be locked down, called an election during that time. And during that time when he called an election, the streets were filled with people. at a time when everyone was supposed to be locked in. Remember that? Okay. So I say that to say this. That stuff they're coming with to act like they actually really care about people. They don't really care about us like that. And they definitely do not care about our ancestors, especially African ancestors. Let me tell you something. If Jamaican government actually cared about African ancestors, Jamaican government would have structured the rules, laws, and regulations of the land to benefit the African ancestors or to benefit those of that offspring. Uno no see say at them are the poorest people in Jamaica. Uno no see say at them struggle the most. Uno no see say all the things that are put in place to keep everybody else upward mobile do not apply to the African ancestors, great grandchildren, and these things. So don't let them come fool you. Pull your heartstring, play with your emotions, and then tell you about Mark Golding is disrespecting your ancestors. In other words, what they're saying is Mark Golding has disrespected your ancestors, so come on over and vote JLP because we care about you more and we would never do something like that. It's not true. It was a JLP man who first called Mark Golding Massa the other day. Yes, a Massa. Or Massa Mark. And then, so for him to do this now, it's quite in line. It's politics, it's theatrics. Remember, you know, Jamaica politician them when time election time comes, them get DJ if you cut dub plate, you know. It's a party to them. It's it's a dance hall to them. Right? And your favorite DJ must cut a dub plate and war with the next side, and it's like Stone Love and me no know some other big sound a clash string up on lawn and these kind of things. That's what they're into. So again, don't sleep, my Jamaican people, and don't buy into it. Don't believe it. Don't be fooled to think that they care. Honestly, if they really cared, certain things that's happening now would not happen at all. Rasta people in Jamaica right now are highly disrespected. Yes, they love the image, and they use Bob Marley's image for one love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. And you see the commercials when you're in England and when you're in other parts of Europe, Germany, Spain, Amsterdam, all these places, back to the US, back to Canada, you see the commercial. You know, everybody wants to go to Jamaica. That's the tourism board beck and call, calling you in. And then the truth of the matter is, Picnic, who come from Rasta family, them have to cover up them here to go into certain government places, or they're looked at as undesirable. The appearance is undesirable. They looked at as unkept. Lord God, something look like something that crawling in my head. I don't know him to look clean. And this is how they are treated. This is how they are talked about. And if you want to talk about Pan-Africanism and Garveyism, and you want to talk about black liberation, you have to look to the Rastas. If you want to talk about honoring the ancestors, you have to look to the Rastas. And the Rastas, who are the main stance for this, are the most downtrodden people, the most used and abused people in Jamaica. So don't bother make Miss Olivia Babsy Grange Culture Minister, and she is Culture Minister, and she has never addressed something like this that I'm saying to you right now. So nobody make she come fool, you know, and telling about, oh, this is dishonoring our ancestors, and my heart sank as I remembered the ancestors who were similarly treated. No. The message that they were trying to send is that the people feel like how Big Stone feel, like a slave in shackles and chains under your boss administration, under the Andrew Holness administration. That was the message. And the message was clear that Mark Golding has the key to free the people who feel that way. Just vote for him and he might go change it. Now, let me end this video by saying this. I am neither here nor there. If you did ask me, I would have told you to go pick the UIC and give Jamaica a chance, a fresh fighting chance. Why? Because we've tried the JLP thing many times. We've tried the PNP things many times over the course of our history. And we've come to notice that they are both just one coin with two different sides. Yes? So since uno not saying UIC and uno don't want anything new, you go ahead and pick your poison, which is you're going to have to pick the lesser of both evils, right? So good luck to you, Jamaican people. Either way you take it, me no business, but don't be fooled. All right? Catch y'all on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.